Hello again, this is the third video segment of the tutorial for parameterization of an assembly. As I mentioned to you at the end of the second segment, there's something there in my model that I didn't like. In fact, you can see it. Here's the model. As I change, for example, the parameter L to 60, this wedge is 60 millimeters long, but I checked the dimension down here for the box, which is the yellow part, and it's 80. Then I realized that when I was creating these equations, inadvertently, when it came to defining the box, the value or the dimension of the padded length for the box, inadvertently I used the second limit. In fact, to convince you that that was the case, I captured the image. Let me see if I can find this thing. Just one second. Uh, where is the Snagit editor? Okay, there. Uh, Notice that here I have the equation is defined in terms of second limit. I didn't mean it to be second limit. I want it to be the first limit. And you can actually see the diagram here. You can see that right there, that there's an extra 20 millimeters because the 60 plus 20 makes it 80. So this can be fixed, and in fact, I'm going to try to do it now. So let's go back. Let's go back here and find. This is for the box, and the box was right there, and it's here. The second. See that? It says the second limit. I'm going to double click on this thing. Okay, so this equation, I don't want it the second limit. So what we want, we're gonna delete this. We're gonna delete this. Delete it. This equation I'm gonna delete. Okay. Now go back to f of x. Select the right there. Select this, and this is the dimension that I want, and I want add a formula, and I want this thing to be L. Okay. Okay. And this second limit, we want it to be 0. 0. So we apply. And okay. Now you can see that everything is all right. Let's check it. If I take L here, well, things like this happen. You just have to fix it. So if I make this thing, I don't know, maybe 30. And update. And there we are. Okay. Now the last thing is what I want to do is to put assembly constraints here. So assembly, okay, so assembly, engineering connections. Now, first of all, let me anchor the base, fix the base. There we are. Okay. And then engineering connections. Let's see how we're going to do this thing. For example, this face and that face, we want them to be coincident, which they are right now. Say yes, they are. And then uh, this edge, another one. For that face, I'm sorry, that face and this face, okay, let's change the direction here from equal to opposite. Okay, good, good. And finally, perhaps I need one more, but I'll leave it like this right now. So let me see now. Let's change these values now. So H2 from 90 to maybe 60. Update. That's okay. You can see that. W from 10 to 30. Okay. Update. these are just some messages that I get, but notice that it's all done properly. And the angle alpha from 90 to, let's go to 30. So it works. This concludes the tutorial for assembly designs. What I'm going to do is in another set of video segment, I'll show you how to do the more or less the same problem, except we use the design, the product table, which is the counterpart of design table for assemblies. All right. Good luck. I hope that this was useful.